So now we have to talk about someone that you knew very well socially on the New York City social scene. I'm talking about the man they call President Trump. I know he's in your book. What was your take on Trump during those days when you knew him socially, before he had any kind of inkling that he was ever going to be in politics?
Well, it was a rocky road even from the beginning. I first, in the late 70s, early 80s, marched on Trump because there was a Justice Department lawsuit against he and his father for discrimination in the buildings they had. Then in the 80s, he bought some casinos in Atlantic City. He had the exclusive rights to the convention center there, where he was doing his Miss America stuff, and he wanted to bring people in Atlantic City. And he was concerned that the mayor there, who was black, Ursary, and many of the city council people were black. So he hooked up with Don King and said, I'll bring fights here. I'll bring Mike Tyson. Don said, well, you better cool out with Sharpton. I was on the rise then. And that's when we met and started socializing. He was convincing me he was all right. He was a Democrat. We'd sit at ringside. Mike would fight. Mike came out of Brooklyn. I knew him. And then late 80s, around 90, the Central Park 5 case happened, and Trump took out full-page ads calling for their execution. I marched on him. He had bought the Plaza Hotel. I marched on him. And he called Don King, why is he marching on me? I thought we were cool. He said, nobody's cool with Al Sharpton if you do something he considers racist. So we were enemies again for about 3 or 4 years. Then he came out in support of Congressman Rangel. He wrote a check to his campaign. He's a Democrat again. And then he came out National Action Network convention. And then everything got back when we were adversarial. So you could never really trust him. He would do whatever was his advantage. Donald Trump believes in Donald Trump. He'll be a Democrat. He'll be a Republican. He'll be whatever. But I kept seeing when he came back with this birther thing, where he said that Barack Obama was not a real American. I said, wait a minute. You came out with racial discrimination in the 70s. You came out against the Central Park 5. Now you're going to say that the only and the first black president isn't black. You really, in your core, have no problem parroting racism. You must be a racist. Why are you comfortable with that? So that's when we just split for all time. People need to understand nobody does and says the things that he doesn't say about blacks and others with ease unless that's how they really feel. He comes out of Queens, a section that blacks couldn't live. Donald Trump, to me, is a bigot. He's played the game of socializing with me and hip-hop stars and Michael Jackson, but that does not mean in his heart of hearts he told us who he really was.